Welcome to the Elevation Podcast. This is my guest, pal Chamorro Ward. She is one of the most decorated people in coffee, an inspiration to me as a business owner, as a barista, and all things coffee. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you so much. That's quite the kind introduction. I appreciate it.
Thank you. My pleasure. I say back to the show because we had our own 2 hour and 45-minute podcast that nobody is ever going to hear.
Yeah.
So to just be our thing that we get to, have in the back of our memory.
Yeah, exactly.
And next time we'll actually plan an actual coffee date instead of saying, hey, let's do a podcast and not have it actually or get the footage lost.
Yeah.
So
it was a good conversation.
Yeah,
so
it was a great conversation. I agree. So this is round 2. It's going to be even better, I think.
There you go.
So I think just with everybody, I start with like how we kind of met. Mm-hmm. And I don't actually remember the exact moment we met because I'd always seen you around.
Yeah.
Which goes like into your coffee experience. You've done everything in coffee. But it was mostly, I think, when you were kind of like at Foundation, I remember there.
Yeah.
King State, of course. And then obviously doing your own things and stuff. And I don't know, you were just always the most delightful person when I ran into you.
Thank you.
Made great drinks. But we're in the hospitality business and always remembered you because of the hospitality.
Well, it was great to hear. Yeah. I mean, it's something that I love. Honestly, I just love the work. I love the people. I don't actually remember either exactly when we met because this is the same thing. Like I've seen you around everywhere. Obviously when you started your shop and stuff, I ended up starting to go over there, and I think I visited your brother in Vegas when he had his shop too. Yes, that's
right. Oh my gosh.
And so there's so many connections to this world that I cannot place the first time we fully talked. Yeah. And then we were just friends. So
it's just one of those
happens.
Universal. We've just always known each other.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
So how did your coffee journey start? Like, where did you start and why coffee?
I mean, I think it's a long story.
It is. And I'm ready for it.
Okay,
and the world needs to hear it.
You're aware a little bit, so that's nice.
Yes.
I think it started back, even where I was born. I was born in Bogotá, Colombia. And, the first few years, it wasn't part of something I was aware, but obviously you grow up knowing coffee, watching commercials on coffee, drinking coffee, all this stuff. It was always a communal thing with my family and so on. But then when I was 12, we moved to the States, and it was a little bit of the height of the internal conflict on the drugs in Colombia. And I didn't speak any English, but I went straight into middle school as a 12-year-old not speaking English. And I could understand, though, enough for people to be always asking about drugs.
Oh, my gosh.
And it drove me nuts because I'd never been exposed to drugs. I was aware there was a conflict on it.
You weren't the middle school dealer?
That's what people thought, apparently. But, they would make jokes about my dad being a drug lord. And I'm like, we are, middle-class people. My dad's been in the construction business his entire life, and we weren't unaffected by the conflict, but it was never really directly affected, if that makes sense. And so in my little 12-year-old mind, I'm like, I need to talk about something else, and I don't know why coffee came out every time. Oh yeah, we also produce great coffee. Yeah, I probably didn't say it like that, but it was something I held on to, and it lasted through some of high school when we ended up moving back home, and that kind of grew the story even more because I started visiting coffee farms that my friends' families owned, and I just fell in love with the entire culture of coffee. I had never visited one until I was, I think, about a senior in high school. So it was a different region that I lived in, but the rolling hills, the people are the nicest, most hospitable people I've met. The food was amazing.
True salt of the earth people.
Yes, humble people. Then their biggest show off was their land, and it's obviously a big thing to show off because it's beautiful, but nothing pretentious about it. They were just so happy to be there. And that's what truly awakened my love for coffee, getting to see how it's grown, how it's picked, how people roast it on the spot. All that stuff was really cool. And I didn't know anything about the technical aspect of it. I just got to experience it a little bit. But I remember when I was probably 19 years old, I was traveling a bit without my family. I was across the world, and I'm I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. But somehow in my mind, I was maybe a coffee shop would be cool. Maybe I always wanted to come back to the States for college. And I'm okay, I'm just going to go to school to learn how to run a business. And then later we'll figure out the coffee part, but it's something I love already, so I'm sure it'll come with it. And that's kind of how it started. And I went to school for entrepreneurship in St. Pete.
St. Pete College or the USF there?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, I did St. Pete College too, like my first 2 years. And then I transferred to USF.
I did a summer there and just everything transferred over.
Yeah,
Easy.
exactly. And I love the program, but it was definitely tech focused. It was all about startups. It was all about getting into that world. And it was a lot of really great practice to learn how to like pitch a business and do all these things, but not really as applicable as what I wanted to do. So after college, I worked for a consulting firm for businesses. So I learned a ton there. It was so fun to learn how to like do the marketing side of things and whatnot. And then he closed out that company to go sit on a board of a different company. And I'm like, well, I'm going to go be a barista. I'm going to actually learn what coffee is about on the consumer side. And that's where I started 10 years ago.
That's crazy. 10 years now.
Yeah.
What was your first barista job? Where was it at?
It was a Buddy Brew. And I actually applied for a roasting assistant job, but they were about to open up a new location. And they're like, we need baristas. I'm like, sure.
Oh my gosh, so this was 10 years ago then?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to think, was their roastery still in the original location before they opened the big one? Oh,
yeah.
That's so cool. That would have been cool to work alongside Phil. Like, big shout out to Phil. He's a great guy. Yeah.
For sure. I like later looking back on it, I was like, I kind of wish I had done the roasting side of it a little bit more or at all. You know, I have never done it. But I loved where I landed because I do love, I don't know if roasting is for me necessarily. I love being around people. And so I think I ended up where I was supposed to be, like, just love the cafe setting and getting to learn.
Yeah, I think that's part of it. Like, and we'll get into all the things you've done in coffee, but a lot of the baristas, I was literally talking about this with a guy today at Malute Shop. He had lived here, worked at barista, moved to Kansas City, came back. And it was the same thing. We were just talking about and if you do anything for too long, you don't get bored with it, but you're always like, what's the next thing to do?
Right.
And somehow it seems like the baristas, the next thing to do is the roastery, right?
Right.
And most of them end up not liking it because it disconnects you from the people.
Yep.
You're not actually getting to make multiple things. It's literally about repetition. It's about creating the same thing over and over again. So there's consistency. And then you get, obviously, the fun coffee that's a little different to roast and everything. But there's like this science that's behind it that's kind of like boring to them in a sense. And they're kind of like, yeah, this isn't for me.
I could see myself getting antsy if I did it for a job for long term. Like, you know, I think I do love structure and repetition sometimes. Yeah. Honestly.
I don't, but I love roasting.
Oh, that's funny.
I know, but I don't think I could do it 5 days a week as the full-time job.
That's true.
I have to, like, my wife and kid always joke, like, Ariel from The Little Mermaid, she's like, I want to be where the people are. Yeah. They always say that to me, like, I am her. Like, but it is so true.
Yeah. I mean, same, 100%. I just, you know, if I don't go to a coffee shop, I feel weird. Yes. Like, I'm just like, I need to go to be with people. And I have an espresso machine at home and I know how to use it. But I still go to coffee shops like almost every day.
Oh, my espresso machine at home gets used on Christmas Day and Easter. And that's about, or maybe Thanksgiving. Because those are the days we're closed and nobody else is open, you know? Yep. And I don't want to bother somebody if they're open those days anyways. Exactly. So it's like, I'm with you. Like, just something about that. My wife thinks it's so funny sometimes. She's just like, wait, you just worked like 19 days in a row. You got a day off. You want to go back into a coffee shop? I'm like, 100%.
Yes. Well, what about that was like?
Right. Going on vacation somewhere, I want to visit every coffee shop that I'm there. Like, it's the best. There's just a feeling about it. And baristas tend to know where the best spots are. When you go somewhere, they always know.
100%. Like, when we travel, we always do coffee shops and bookstores. And that's like where we find out where we're going to go to eat dinner and to like visit hopefully non-touristy stops always. And I feel like those two combinations of people always know where the best place is.
Bookstores, I never thought of that. I have to remember that one.
Yeah, my husband's a writer, so I feel like, I mean, I do love books too, but it's like independent bookstores are really cool.
I love the idea of books more than I actually love books. Yeah. But I think when I'm like old, I'll love them. But right now I'm like, I don't have time for them.
Yeah. Thank God for podcasting.
Exactly. So. and audiobooks. I don't count that as books though. So it's like, it's just long form podcasts. Yeah. Storytelling podcasts. But, all right, I got us on a tangent. Back to Buddy Brew. So you started there. Yeah. That was my fault.
Oh yeah. So I started there. And then right after that was Foundation. So I think that was the second specialty coffee shop in Tampa.
Did you already get really good training though from Buddy Brew in the beginning?
I mean, I feel like Buddy Brew is so great at training people and finding great people.
Who trained you there?
Josh Banana.
Yeah, of course.
And that made me fall in love with coffee even more. I mean, I was definitely...
He's one of the people that, like, when they opened up, I was already roasting my garage, and I met him at Buddy Brew. I wanted to be there every day he was there.
He was great. I mean, I couldn't have been luckier to find someone to teach me coffee, to be honest. Like, he was a fun person to be around. He was direct what you needed when you're learning something that feels so, like, overwhelming, because I was definitely overwhelmed. I'm like, what do you mean you have to do math? Like, why are we talking about ratios? And now I know you don't necessarily have to do math. You kind of learn how to, like, do it. But when they were first talking about ratios, I'm like, oh my God, what? I was not,
this was not an application process.
Exactly. But he was able to, like, take really big concepts and break them down really small. And not just that, his, like, knowledge and his passion for it was contagious. Like, I would go to him, like, tell me all the other resources that you haven't mentioned that you learn from.
Yes.
You know, and we did things like, he was doing open, like, education, like, workshops with staff that you could come if you wanted. It was volunteer, but we did, like, acid testing and things like that. And I was like, what? Like, you can taste different types of acids and then compare that in contrast to coffee. I thought that was amazing. So, like, yes, I got really lucky and got a great training program while at Buddy Brew. And then I was able to take that with me. And I was still a pretty new barista, I feel like, when I went to foundation. So, like, it solidified more there, because I feel like for the first... Well, I guess I should say most of my coffee career, I've worked part-time as a barista. I don't think I did a lot of full-time stuff, because I was always trying different things, like, on the side. Like, I would go to markets and sell art and things like that. So it took me a long time to feel, like, confident in my coffee skills.
Interesting. Okay. I've never not thought of you as not confident in it. So.
Yeah, no, it took me a long time. I think it's the timing of it, you know, like, I couldn't perfect my latte art for a long time. And I'm very far for it. I feel like people like Esteban and Ryan McNabb, like, these people are amazing at latte art. I'm like, oh, here's the little... I
mean, I'm decent too, but if I'm working a shift with somebody like that, I'm going to let them pour, especially if it's like first time customer comes in. I want them to be wowed, like me, and like, okay, whatever, you know, but them, it's just kind of like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I know. I was always like telling Ryan, I'm like, can you, like, get me a cappuccino so I could take pictures for our profile and stuff? And I'm like, I'm not gonna do it.
He looks so effortless when he does it too.
Oh my God,
He's so good at latte art.
He's so good. But yeah, it took me a while, but it was something I always, like, enjoyed and tried to keep learning. Like, I just was a sponge for learning, not just coffee, but, like, how the businesses approach their customers, and also how they manage the actual business. I was always paying attention to that stuff. And I think it's because I had in mind that one day I wanted to do it. And then you got into actually doing the work to see what it would take to open up a shop. And I was like, how does anyone do this?
Right. And how does anybody stay in it?
Yeah. I was like, you know, even as a barista, like, there were times that I could tell that it was so slow. I'm like, how are you covering up my wages alone, you know?
Oh, yes.
So it was something I was always aware of. And I'm like, I'm not sure how I'm ever going to get the money to do this, but
that's great that you had the awareness for that, because there's and I'm blessed. I got a great staff that probably is fully aware of those things as well, you know, and they'll take off early. I don't ever have to say anything to anybody. Nobody's ever milking a clock, you know.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's a great situation, but there are days where you're just like, okay, you have to realize you have to look at the whole month or the whole year, you know. You can't, there's no rhyme or reason to it either. We've looked at everything. We've tried to figure out, like, I haven't worked my Lutz location in all of 2026 until this past week.
Oh, wow.
And then it was the weirdest thing. I'm just trying to figure out how to schedule there, because we only really schedule two people, an opener and a closer, and they have an overlapping time.
Yeah.
But, like, the busiest time is the first, like, hour of the day, and I can't have two openers. Yeah, you know what I mean? And have somebody stay till close. So you're like, what the heck do you do?
Yes.
And I realized that this week, you know, and it's something like Esteban told me, but he's always like, you know, he's like, oh, I can handle it though.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I can handle it.
Yeah.
And after this week, I was like, okay, yeah, like, I mean, I can handle it too.
Right.
But it's like the general person might not be able to handle it. I might feel stressed out in that situation. But you're always trying to juggle and figure those things out.
But that's cool that you were able to see it firsthand too, because I feel like there's also a disconnect from people that, like, manage or own businesses that haven't been on the floor for so long, so they can't see it. So it's hard to, like, I feel like there's a little bit of that separation between baristas and owners and managers because of that. It's like 100%. No one's doing anything on a like bad intentions, right? But if you don't step on the floor, then how are you able to, or at least talk to people? Obviously, Esteban was telling you these things is like amazing, but sometimes people don't just speak up because they don't think they'd be heard or something.
Right. And not every number, if you're looking at hourly things, is not the same. Somebody could have bought, there could have been 5 retail bags bought that hour to bring the numbers up. You know what I mean? Or like a wholesale order that somehow is in that same POS that went through, and you're like, oh, we had a great day. I don't remember being that busy. And you're like, oh, somebody paid their bill, you know?
Exactly.
And so you don't really, it's so hard to fine tune all those things as a business owner and stuff too. So,
100%.
and just, I mean, this isn't my podcast, but
no.
That was the hard part. I didn't have anybody previously to even try to learn those things from. It was just like in it, do it, stress about it. Figure it out.
It's a hard way to learn, but sometimes you learn more than if you just, everything was easy for you, right? Not that things would be easy necessarily, but like...
Oh, there's nothing easy about a coffee business.
Exactly. But like learning a little bit the hard way, you just will never make that mistake again. There's
100%.
Something about that you're
I always chalk it up to like, this is cheaper than a college course in a semester. And it makes me feel better about the mistake that was made.
It's true,
So,
that's funny.
So now we're to foundation, and you've got this background from Josh, kind of watching a different type of ownership group that has a structure to it. You know what I mean? Not the foundation in it, but they have this like almost corporate structure at Buddy Brew that was, and you seem like somebody, you said earlier, you kind of like the structure, you like the steps and everything. And now you're at foundation.
Yeah, foundation. Similar to Buddy Brew, I was always part-time. So like, I feel like it wasn't like I was fully into it. I think I was always afraid a little bit to like go full-time just because my mind was also like, I need to make money elsewhere so I can start a coffee shop. And I didn't think I'd make enough as a barista. And especially coming from a consulting job where I was like paid really well and I was like, got a salary, could work from wherever. I think that was my fear. But foundation was great. I think I left when there was some like structured change. They started roasting, nothing bad about it, but I got offered another job doing social media. And I'm like, yeah, this seems really great. And I left, and that was definitely a mistake. I won't name any names, but like that's where I really knew that I wanted to do this for my life. That desk jobs are not it for me, even if it's something semi-creative, well, very creative. That was social media. I just like did not like that whole world of just, that was all I did. And so I ended up kind of freelancing barista-ish. Like I would help out Union. That was at Armature at that time. Right. Every once in a while, like whenever Joel would call me and be like, we need someone, I'm like, sure, I'll fill in.
Gosh, I saw so many random baristas working at Union.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that did that there, which was kind of cool because it was a fun way to just like learn a little bit, but not be like fully involved in the weekly like scheduling there. That's hard because it was morning and night. So I think that really worked out for their setup as well. And then in the meantime, Kingstay was being built out, and I knew I wanted to work there, and so I was just kind of waiting for them to be ready. And I had already talked to them for a little bit about it and stuff. And then when they opened, I ended up like being a part of the opening team. And I was there for 4 years.
That was full time though, right?
That was the only place I did full time. I think I started part-time, but then they needed extra hours.
And they were like, hey, we got a GM job available. And you're like, I'll do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was definitely full-time, the GM job and stuff. But initially I started part-time, but it quickly turned into full-time. And I took a break, I think for almost a year when I had my daughter, and came back, and that's when I became the GM. But yeah, I learned a lot there. It was a different setup as well, because it wasn't just coffee. It was also a full kitchen. It was also beer and wine we started with right away, and then eventually cocktails after COVID. So that GM job, I mean, nothing's grown me as much as that did, even though it was a little bit of a shorter time-wise. But again, I was just always paying attention. I'm like, I just want to absorb as much as possible. It was a fun job. I loved like getting to see so many people from the community come through.
Oh my, it was the spot. You know what I mean? It was even like my brother, when he come from out of town, he was just like, we have to go to Kingstay at least once while I'm here. You know, it was just one of those spaces that like, and I hate because they would use the word a lot too, like vibes, you know, but there's a certain vibe to it that you would go to, and you just, I don't know. Yeah. You're just in this pocket that existed only right here, you know?
Right. And it was still sort of like like it feels like a little hidden gem during the weeks. Like weekends got wild, and we got a ton of people from like all over Tampa coming. But
we got to the point like even my wife and my kid, we would when it first opened, especially, we'd go on the weekends sometimes because not a problem. It was still. Yeah, they had a name. They were one of, they got named as the top 10 coffee shop in America by Food and Wine, I think it was, one year. But that still doesn't like change the local market as much. It was more like the word of mouth, and then the neighborhood got a little nicer, so people got a little less scared to go there. It was the funniest thing. I know. It's so funny to me. It was a great experience, and I learned a lot. And, I think towards like the end of me being there, I already started brewing cold brew. Actually, I think I started during like COVID. So my husband is a big cold brew drinker. I don't get it because I like hot coffee. That's so funny. You don't get it, but you make amazing cold brew.
Well, it was because of him. Like, we couldn't go anywhere for cold brew. So I'm like, let me like test, like when COVID, everything was shut down, where he was like missing cold brew,
He's like getting the itch. He's like,
yeah, exactly. So I started, it was also a fun way to experiment for me. I'm like, I don't normally like cold brew because I don't love like kind of like a lot of the aftertaste that come with it. And I think especially at that time, a lot of people didn't really pay attention to the cold brew. And it was a lot of the leftover beans or the really old beans. So
it drives me nuts. That's why I never liked it before Esteban. You know what I mean? Like, because I was even at first with the Elevation, I was like, I don't know about cold brew.
Yeah.
He's like, you've just never had it done properly. You know what I mean? He goes, I've got a recipe. All of our stuff's fresh. He goes, there's, we're going to do this the right way. And he literally changed my mind on cold brew.
Yeah, it's awesome. I think it's like, it's all about the intention, like almost everything in coffee is, and so we started testing stuff. I learned of some coffee shops in Colombia that were doing direct to consumer, or like, I guess, shipping roasted at origin coffee to the States. And I'm like, let me try this. It'd be fun to have coffee like directly roasted from Colombia for this. And then that turned into the delivery program that we started, and we were literally delivering cold brew like the old school milkman would do.
I love it. So
use the milk jugs. And so that like created like my first like actual coffee business that was called Bogotá 1835. And we would deliver all over Seminole Heights and Tampa Heights. And I was like, I think this was around the time I was still at King State doing this, and I would just do this once a week. That's so
cool. Wake up, open your door. Oh, got my cold brew in my milk, like in the cool glass container and stuff. It's especially in Tampa, like Seminole Heights, Tampa Heights, historic parts of town. They probably had milkmen back in the day there,
exactly.
So what a cool little like throwback to those areas,
I know. It was such a fun project, and we did it for I think 3 years.
You still do it?
I've stopped. Okay. I stopped late last year.
Okay.
Just like I was doing too many things.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
So
last year was a year, wasn't it?
It was a year. It was a year.
Are we ready to get into that?
Sure,
or no?
Let's do it. Yeah.
All right.
I guess it technically was the last 2 years.
Yeah. So I guess we could track back to that leaving King State. That's what it was.
So I left King State and I built a coffee cart. I'm like, I can't factually like afford to build a coffee shop. So what is like I remember this from school. I'm talking about the minimal viable product, and usually it was for tech startups and stuff, but it was like break down your idea and your concept as small as possible to start getting some proof of concept.
I love that.
And so I'm like, I just like was like, okay, I don't know what that looks like in coffee. Like an espresso machine is $20,000, and like I can't really do that from like my home machine, even though there are people doing it now in coffee carts, which I think is crazy and cool. And I'm like, do it. You know what I mean?
You could probably only do iced only though, because you can't use the steam one because it would just like die on you.
For sure. But I think it's cool people are trying. You know what I mean?
Agree.
And so like hopefully that gets them to the next step. But for me, it was cold brew. And so we built the cart to serve cold brew only. We did it like kind of cocktail style, even though it was never like the thought in my mind. It was like someone else mentioned it. They're like, oh, I really like how you're doing like cocktail style, like cold brew stuff. It never had alcohol in it, but we created a signature drink and a couple of like specials here and there. And so we started with that, and then we ended up opening up Una Más with the same cart. I just changed the branding on it, and the idea was to go and do also breakfast and do more consistent pop-ups, because with Bogotá I was just doing them every once in a while and stuff.
And it was all cold brew based at that point?
With Una Más?
No, with
Bogotá was only cold brew based, yeah. And then once we started Una Más, we got the espresso machine and then started getting more serious about a space. Which we had a space, and that fell through very fast. And so it's like,
very fast, but also very long.
Yeah, the beginning of that business was wild. I mean, the entire business, honestly, was just a wild, roller coaster ride. And so we had a space that didn't work out. We found a pop-up space, and we were there for a few months consistently, and that really helped us grow. And then we found our own brick and mortar, and we're like, yeah, we're going to open in 2 months, and, plan-wise, it seemed like it really was going to work because it was a very small space. And my dad is a general contractor, so he was helping us with all the build-out. I laid out all the plans. I'm such a nerd. I did a little Gantt chart for it. I'm like, this is when we do this and this and this.
That's not nerdy. I wish I had that in me. I'm so bad at those things. But I also have the toxic trait of believing I can open something in a few months.
I don't know what I was thinking. But I think, part of it is the idealistic part of, we can get this done because we have to. Mm-hmm. But also it seemed easy enough at that point. Again, because the space was so small. We weren't looking for this crazy big build out. We were going to start simple. That's kind of always been the path that I've tried to go down, is start simple and then get it better and then get it better and then improve. We got far into it. And then our final inspection, the inspector's like, what was this before? I was like, it was an office. He's like, oh, okay, cool. I mean, it seems like you guys have a good setup here, but I need to see the permits of the change of use with the city. I'm like, what do you mean? I did the change of use with you guys, which is what I understood is the only thing you needed. But it wasn't. He's like, no, I can't let you pass or open until I see something from the city saying that it's okay to have a coffee shop there. I'm like...
And as we know with the city of Tampa, I don't know if you can hear, there's demolition happening right here in downtown Tampa right now. There's beeps outside everywhere. There's getting permits in Tampa right now.
Yes.
Blow my brains out.
Yeah. Well, again, something that they said was so simple was not, right? Because I before we signed the lease, I had called the city. I'm like, this is what I'm thinking about doing. This is our menu. This is the place. I gave them the address and everything. Tell me it's okay to open it or what I need to do. They're like, yeah, there's different limitations, right? So as long as you keep it under this amount of seats, you should be able to do it. I'm like, cool, we'll do that. It's a small space anyways. Turns out I only talked to zoning and not permitting. And that was the problem because it still requires special permits to do what we did there or what we wanted to do there.
And that's a common misconception. Even when people ask me, they're like, hey, if I permit this out, I'm like, have you talked to zoning yet? They're like, what's zoning? I'm like, well, what's the building zone for now? I don't know. That's the hardest part. And that also got me in trouble at one point. That's why I learned that, and it took us 2 years to open the Lutz location because it was, even the builder, he didn't zone it as the proper thing to move it over the shell unit type thing so you can easily rezone it.
Oh my God.
It was a whole different
it's
thing.
It's a guessing game.
It is.
And it's depends on who you talk to. Because I thought I did my due diligence, you know what I mean? I had notes and everything. So I went back and I'm like, you guys told me this. And then they were able to be like, okay, yeah, as long as you keep it under 10. Because they were asking for engineer drawings and soil testing and all this stuff. I'm like, this is not, exactly. We were already at the end of our money. We didn't have any investors. We put in money ourselves, and we had a micro loan. And then we ended up having to do a loan to finish the build out, another loan. So we were we open next week or we just die, basically. We can, the pop-ups we're doing this at the same time as pop-ups Thursday through Sunday, I think, at this point.
Yeah, so it's just around the clock.
So, I was exhausted, and the city was able to say, okay, you only need, instead of architecture and engineer drawings, you can just get a general contractor to sign off on this. You still have to show all this. But then I saw the list online of the things that they were still requiring, even after going down a level. And it was massive. It was we may need a new water meter because you're going to be using a lot more water than an office would. Yep. And I was just like, I can't actually do this either anymore because we had signed a 1-year lease with the option to sign 4 years. I'm like, we already paid by this point, I think, 9 months without being able to open. And for a small company with no investors
Yeah.
and with a lot of debt already, I'm like, I can't commit to 4 years. And so we went through a lot of changes as a structure, as a company at that point too. And when I became the sole owner of it, I'm like, I just called it. I'm like, I love this so much, but I can't do it. I was like, I can't like carry the weight of all of this without being like even like stable at this moment. You know, I like decided not to re-sign the lease. And I had hired
I mean, let's not glaze over that. That's a hard decision to come to.
Yes.
You've poured. It's not even just the money. Money
Right.
sucks at its loss,
Right.
but it's a lesson learned.
Yeah.
It's money well spent long term.
Right.
Because
right.
now you can hopefully teach other people what not
yes.
to do.
Yes.
But it's a year of working on the side to pay off the loans.
Yeah.
Not even invest back in your own family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To work on this thing that you hope you can open at some point
Yeah.
while you're raising a kid who was at her formidable years
Yes.
too, you know? And that's to say that's deep.
It was, I think I'm still like trying to like, I don't know, process a lot of it to
Yeah.
this day, right? Like this was a year ago, probably to the month, honestly, that we started going through the really, really hard part of the business, making changes and seeing what the future held. But I also knew that I couldn't tie the rope around my own neck with the money and all that stuff aside, which was really important too. I just knew I was gonna like die an awful death with money if I didn't like at least make the decision of not continuing with the brick and mortar. Now at this time, I still wanted to continue the pop-ups for sure because I loved what we did. And
people loved what you did.
It was such a fun time. Honestly, it was hard, but it was fun. And like I hired a bunch of people at this like around the summer, or late summer, I should say. And they were amazing. Like they held me together. They like, it was fun going to work. It was fun doing the pop-ups. It was like, my goal was to get myself off the floor so I could be more support and like really manage the business because I was kind of doing everything before. And I'm like, that's really hard to do. So, and I only got to do it a few times, unfortunately, just because we were just busy but I loved it. And they were amazing. Like the team, I just like have a special spot in my heart for all of them. Like,
absolutely.
You know, I don't think they knew the depth of what I was struggling with at the time, but I think they're also very, acutely aware.
Yes, 100%. I mean, they see it. They know.
Yeah.
Two of them, at least I know, Ryan and Chris and
Yeah.
Tina. They've been in the business.
Right.
They know what it looks like.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think they're aware. And that's probably why they worked even harder. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
they knew, like, they don't just love making coffee. They love working with and for people that care about not just the coffee, but the people around it. And that's you.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's testament, like, every time, you know, like, we went there, they were just the most kind, welcoming people. It's exactly the atmosphere you wanted. And I know it was one of those things that you eventually wanted to build and stuff, but you didn't get to that. But it's also, I don't blame you. Like, you get to a certain point, like you said, you can't tie the noose around your own neck.
Yeah.
And thank God you had an out in your lease.
Yeah. I mean, I knew that I would say this, contracts are very important. And that was something I never took lightly. And I'm going to call myself a nerd because I will read them over and over again. But because I've heard of awful stories too, you know, like I've heard of like coffee shops making people sign non-compete stuff. I'm like, oh, you can't just like stop someone from like starting their own like idea or dream. I think there's room for all of us here. And so like when we were signing the lease, I'm like, I want to make sure that we have an out in case you can't really predict the future, right? And like, you know, the option of signing a 5-year lease, which is pretty common in commercial real estate, was there. But I'm like, can we try to do something a little less just to start? So I'm glad we were able to do that. Contracts are your friend. And I know
they're scary, but they are your friend, yes.
But it's better, or maybe it's like, you know, keep your closer enemies type of thing. Like, make sure you know honestly, that contract.
That's a good way of saying it, because I thought, so the first location I opened, the contract, the lease, it was smaller. It was easy. It was these guys, they did residential stuff. This was their first commercial building. Okay. They wanted us in there. You know what I mean? Awesome, they worked with us. That's cool. One of the two owners would always pop in just to say hi, just to say thank you for being the anchor of this plaza. Cool. You know, like you guys are always popping. I love it. It's so great. Where can I help? You know, I thought they were all like that. And then kind of find out I was just lucky with the first one. Yeah. And the second one, luckily my cousin, he works on the top floor of a building down here in downtown Tampa as an attorney.
Nice.
Second lease I got was like this big. I'm like, dude, I don't even know where. He goes, I'll take a look at it for you. I think he had like 133 things on it that need to be revised.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just like, because there were so many. He goes, you see this right here? I go, yeah, it looks. He goes, that means they could kick you out and put a Starbucks in there if they wanted to. You know what I mean?
Yikes.
I'm like, how does that mean that? And he goes, it just does.
Yeah. See, I'm not a lawyer or anything. Like, I've never studied anything like that. But we got a lease that big at a different location once. And I was like, I didn't have a lawyer to look at it, but I just read some of it. And, like, some things just sounded off. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't tell you what they meant necessarily. But I'm like, no. And so we never signed that lease because I was just like, I need to understand this. Mm-hmm. And I think there were other things going on at the same time that like was an easy no for me. But I think something we miss out on sometimes because they seem so scary is to not do our due diligence and really get someone else to look at it. Obviously, it costs money, so that's always hard.
It is,
but, you know, there are so many tools out there that can help now at least get a second, like, eye on it. Like, I feel like, you know, there's, like, I learned that there's the Bar Association of Florida has a way for you to get like more affordable counsel and stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. So it's like just like researching extra before you make such a big commitment is important, and you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah, so it is a commitment. It's a business marriage at that point.
Oh my God,
yes. Yeah, an annulment agreement somewhere in the plan there.
And it's hard to get out and especially, you know, you're not going to get out unless you have issues. And if you have issues, it's really hard to like.
But then if everything's going well, it always depends on the landlord. Like again, my first location, they see it going well. They're not like it's going well. You must be able to afford more. You know what I mean? They're not like that.
Yeah.
Other locations, we have to send them our numbers you know what I mean? And I'm like, why do you want our numbers? Do you want to see if you can charge us more on the next lease agreement? Like, what's the deal here? You know, or do you want to see if we're not viable? You know what I mean?
Is that part of like the contract that you had to show them? Oh, damn.
Yep, and it was almost non-negotiable for them. Yeah, it was weird. A whole bunch of other things. Yeah, there was a lot of those. So it's just like you feel like you're with somebody in one of them, and you feel like you're against somebody, even though you're literally us benefiting benefits them benefiting benefits us. Like, I don't understand why you're at odds with us here, you know?
Yep. I mean, not to mention that when you're in a commercial like space, whatever you improve on the space belongs to the landlord for like, I think 99% of cases.
Oh, I've got 6 figures in my lease location. If they decided not to renew our lease when it comes up, it's all theirs because it's fixtures to the building, you know?
Exactly.
Oh, the new AC unit we put in, that's yours.
Yep.
I don't get to take that home with me and have a kick butt AC unit in my house, you know? Which is wild to me.
I know. I don't understand it. It's a little predatory, honestly.
It is.
Like before, I will say this to anyone that will hear me, before anyone signs a lease that's commercial, have a lawyer actually look at it. No matter how big or small it is. It's like I've learned a little bit since the process that I went through that like sometimes a sentence looks so like it's nothing, and it means a lot more than I thought it was, just like you said. So it's like, be careful.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So
yeah, where were we?
Yeah, so we're at the point, you're about 9 months into this year. You're deciding this is that was your cutoff point, right? You're like, hey, we got 3 more months to ride this out.
Yeah.
What were those 3 months like?
They were probably the hardest 3 months of my life. I was already really burned out. Like I was working around the clock. I was doing all the prep work. I was working the floor most of the time. Sometimes with my team, I was able to I was still there, but I was able to just like help and step in. But I'd leave pop-ups to go prep some more for the next day and so on. At one point we were doing Wednesday through Sunday, and I think I took it back again from Thursday through Sunday. And I would work 16-hour days maybe. And on my feet. And at one point I had a second job to try to bring some money in, and then I stopped paying myself from Una Más, and I was not seeing my daughter or my husband. And I was just like physically, mentally exhausted and in pain. I ended up messing up my knee, and I didn't realize that till I was fully done with pop-ups, and it was just from carrying heavy stuff. You know, it was
and
just
carrying
like,
it exhausted.
And exhausted, yeah.
If you can carry heavy stuff,
right? Yeah,
like carrying it exhausted, it's wear and tear.
Yes, and I think my body was just like in adrenaline mode constantly, you know, because I didn't feel it at all until I actually like that first week after I had no pop-ups, my knee was in so much pain and it had blown up like this big, and I'm like,
gosh,
I had to go get x-rays and stuff, and it's still healing to this day. It's been 6 months.
Oh my gosh.
So it was wild time. I slept maybe 4 to 5 hours a night, and I just I had kind of trigger back to jobs that I hated, that I would cry the night before, I don't want to go there.
Yeah. And that's the last thing you start a business and not want to go there, you know?
Well, it didn't feel like I didn't want to be in the business, but I just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
That exhaustion, that stress. I'm I don't know if I can do this anymore. And what was really important to me was still to provide a really great quality items and breakfast and coffee, and take care of my staff. That was really big for me, because sometimes I felt the opposite of that in shops or experiences in life in general. And so I'm at this point, I'm gonna actually break that promise to myself too. If I don't stop, then something's gonna give, and they're gonna be the ones hurting, or our customers are gonna get really.
Nobody wins in this next scenario.
No one. Yeah, I'm already not winning.
Yeah, and which you can handle for a little bit.
Right, and I remember having a conversation with a really good friend of mine, and I admitted to her, and she knew everything that was happening at this point, but I admitted to her for the first time that I wasn't even paying myself. And she's like, you can't do that.
Yeah.
It's you can't even bring stuff like money to your home, and you guys are already tight because we put everything into this business, right? But the fear of failure was there, of what will they say?
Yeah.
Obviously, that was still real. But I'm just glad I had really great people in my life that said, that's not what matters. People will form their own opinions. And they already have, because we went through so much already with Una Más. The right people stayed, you know? And that's something I really had to hold on to, because I do like validation.
Who doesn't?
And I think especially because of I don't know, as an immigrant child learning English for the first time in middle school, some of those things get really deep into you.
Yeah.
And so I was always adaptable. I was always a people pleaser at the same time. And so I'm oh God, the thought of announcing this physically made me uncomfortable.
Yeah.
But it was the best thing I could do. And the best thing I did, honestly. It was to this day, I'm that was not a mistake. Stopping everything was
all of the
good.
Reception that I saw from the public view and from people I know personally, they were just good for her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was she worked so hard. She did everything. This was out of her control, you know? And just to lay it down at the right time rather than forcing something that's not going to work. It's going to mess with your family, your mental health.
Yeah.
It was a powerful thing to actually see somebody who has at that point 9 years in the industry to do that. It's I don't know a single person looked at it as failure, if that makes sense, or if it makes you feel any better. And I never looked at it. I was just oh my gosh, it's a stepping stone to something different. It was a learning mistake that please teach me some of those things so that I don't make the same mistakes. Yeah. And I think that's part of your next steps too, is that you this wasn't a finality, you know?
Right.
What is it? Failure isn't fatal, you know?
Yes.
And failure can be turned into pivots, into 100%. New directions and stuff.
Yeah, no, and thank you for saying that. I was getting a little emotional there, because it is hard to get yourself out of that in your own mind, right? It's just still, it's difficult. We don't want to accept when we can't do something anymore, even though we can't physically do it anymore.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you're objectively looking at it, it's yes, you need to stop, right? But we have been ingrained with this culture of no, you have to keep going. That's the only way to win. But I was losing so much. So much. The biggest thing was the time with my family. I was a stranger to them. My daughter stopped saying, please don't go to work. Things like that. And I love being a mom. And so it was part of that. It was just breaking me. And I didn't know what I was going to do after that, to be honest. I was just I just need to stop.
That's where the good part of all the other stuff went through. You're adaptable.
Yes,
so
yes.
You don't take the things that happen and throw it to the side. You take the things happen, you let them fester. and then you regroup and you're like, hey, I got a new idea.
Exactly. I took a full month off of everything.
Good for you.
That. And I don't know how we did it because it wasn't like ideal either. But I was like, I can't go look for a job. I can't go do anything creative at this moment because I'm burned out. I took off social media fully. I was like, I need to stop looking at anything because this was just hard, you know? And after that, like, I just got the idea of like working on the recipes and sharing them with the world. Like, that was the next thing. I'm like, yeah, you know, I don't have a space, but I don't have to have a space, right? Like, in this world that we live in, like, as much as like social media is like a double-edged sword that I struggle with a lot. Same. It's an amazing tool too, to be able to put out there things out there that you don't have to be physically there for.
Right.
And so I've always wanted to write a cookbook. I almost went to culinary school when I moved back for college, and I couldn't because it was either art school tuition money
oh gosh, yeah,
or a tech school that wouldn't sponsor my visa. So I was never able to actually do it, but I've loved cooking my entire life. Like, my mom would have us cook once a week when my sister and I were young, to teach us how to cook and to be in charge of it.
That's cool. So you get to cook like the family dinner when you were young? That's really cool.
And it was so much fun. Like, I can't remember or tell you what we made. It probably wasn't even edible. But
oh my gosh, I'm sure it was.
I don't know. I mean, I think we were probably around, I don't know, 13 or so when she started like telling us to do these things. I have no idea. I just knew that we did. And ever since then, I've just loved that. And when my family was in Colombia and I was here for school by myself, it was part of it too. I was like, I miss the food, and I started really getting into cooking. Like, my mom wasn't here to like cook me my favorite meals, you know, and I couldn't just go to the corner and get an empanada like I would do after school and things like that. So I just started experimenting with ingredients and cooking. So like a lot of the Una Más menu came from that too.
That's cool.
And so when we finished the pop-ups, I'm like, all right, let me just see if people are interested in this. And it's taken me like a lot of months to get to this point. Writing recipes was a lot harder than I thought.
Because recipes are one thing, but I assume you probably have a story behind the recipes and stuff too. Yeah, which I think is, that's the connection point. You know, how many people can grill a steak, right?
Right.
But when there's a story behind it and you're kind of like, oh, and I used these spices because I visited this place or whatever it is, you're like, wow. Now I'm intrigued. There's a story to this thing. We all need to eat. We all need this thing.
Exactly.
But what actually connects it? Same with you. Like, doesn't your food that you're gonna have on these things isn't objectively better than something else, but it's subjectively better to certain people because of the story that's behind it.
Well, even the emotional connection to the people that did support us at pop-ups, you know, like, you know, to this day, I still get people saying, oh, I missed this from your pop-ups. And are you going to do another pop-up soon?
What do they miss the most?
I mean, people have talked, I think the top three things are the burritos, the pastel de pollo. I don't know if I don't think you ever had this.
I don't think I did. I had the arepas.
Yeah, you had the arepas.
Yes.
And then the Oreo twists.
Oh, okay.
Those three things were the biggest things. And I mean, the arepas are up there, but those are like much harder to make.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like I saw everybody with the burritos. So.
Yes, exactly. So, you know, from like getting that feedback to thinking, oh, one day I'd like to do a cookbook. I'm like, let me just try. Why not? Like, that's how I've done everything in my life. I'm like, I'm just going to learn as I do it. And so I've been spending the last few months like writing things down and like testing them out. I had a group of people, I call it the Una Más test kitchen, test the recipes and give me feedback.
Oh, cool. So you gave them the recipes, let them make them and see how it turned out? That's really cool.
Yeah. And then some close and friends. So like another thing that we did at Una Más is when we needed to like raise some funds for the brick and mortar, they started the Una Más like club,
That's
Una Más
so cool.
club. And I'm like, we'll give you all these benefits and give you this. And unfortunately, we were never able to fully fulfill that. So I couldn't let that go. And so part of that is like I gave them the recipes too.
That's really cool.
So I sent them that recently. I'm like, you guys were part of this. Here are the recipes. Go make the burrito for yourself at home and stuff.
I love that. I know we're moving forward, but moving back to that, even that, like to that club that you did for the people, like I would see it every once on your stories and stuff. Tell me more, just me personally, like I want to know more about that because those are the type of things that Esteban and I have talked about before. At one point we were like, how do we do like an elevation club that is, because we're obviously an inclusive place. We want everybody from the nerdiest coffee drinker to the person who's never had coffee before to come through our doors and have an experience. but there's a certain group of your regulars, your people that you want to find a way to show them thank you and care. But we've never figured out how to do like a proper club. Yeah. Like what was yours like? What was the thought process behind that? And
so I think this also has been years on the making. So it was a brewery. It was like a tap room in Bogota that was like an Irish bar. And so it served a lot of Irish beers and stuff. It was, Bogota has a really cool food scene, and it's huge. It's like a 7 million people city, so it's humongous. Like New York City almost. It's huge. And so I remember like exactly standing there and hearing about their mug clubs. So it's like, and I don't know if you've seen it, I think Berry House does it here in Ybor as well. Okay. And so like people pay a fee, I think it's a yearly fee, and they get their own mug that they always get their beer served on. And it has their names on it and
stuff. Does it stay in the store, or do you have to bring it?
No, it stays in the store.
Okay, that's kind of cool.
And at Berry House, like, so my husband was working there too, and like that kind of reignited that idea, because I was always like, that'd be so cool to do with coffee, but that'd be so hard because you have so many different types of like beverages. Yes. So you can't do like a latte and serve a cortado in it. That would be really funny. Just not ideal, I think.
Definitely can't do it the reverse side.
Exactly. So I'm like, and I just kept thinking, I'm like, one day I'll have a spreadsheet, or maybe just a document with ideas that I had for a coffee shop if I ever opened one. Every time I got an idea, I would write it down there. Smart. And so I remember like writing that there, but I'm like, how do we figure out the mug? And I could never figure it out. But then,
I wouldn't even know where to begin on that.
But when we really needed the money, I'm like, it's time to get creative. And I also love the idea of like your early adopters, right? Like I think I do draw from other industries for inspiration, because I, went to school for like this whole tech world, it felt like, but it was not my jam, but I wanted to learn from it. And so like the freemium, the early adopters, all these little models that they do in the tech world, I'm like, why can't we do it in coffee? Yeah, just in our own way, right? And so I'm like, maybe we just need to scratch the whole mug thing, but give them different benefits. So the thought process was like, same, you pay a fee once a year. You can renew it. We do limited spots, and then we give you different benefits. So what we ended up with was like, you get a cold brew a month, or like a jug, one of those jugs that I deliver, the cold brew and the milk jugs, 64 ounce, or a nice latte jug, growler, I guess I should say. You take one of those home once. On your birthday, you get a free pastry and coffee. Every I think it was like the first Wednesday, because we assumed the Wednesday was going to be our slowest day too. You get a free coffee and pastry once a month. And then you get to, we called it the shitty days benefit. You just come in for no reason. You're having an awful day. You tell us that, and we'll get you a coffee and pastry.
I love that.
So, and that was Ryan's idea. He would kill me if I didn't give him credit for it. But yeah, it's just like a small way to show our thanks to the people that support us the most, because we assumed that the people that would buy this membership would be our closest, most supportive people. And I was honestly shocked by the response for a pop-up that we didn't have in the space yet. They still accepted this and bought in.
That's testament to you, though. You're the person behind it. I just want you to know that. Like, people see that and they're just like, we want to support this person. Over 10 years of work, or at that point, like 9 years of that, people got to know you. People got to love you. And they were just like, we want to back this no matter what. So yeah.
It was such a cool project. Obviously, it started as like needing the money and getting creative about it, because we didn't have investors, to like, no, there's actually a way to take care of our people. Like, they're taking care of us.
And it's so much better than GoFundMe. You know what I mean? We all donate enough to people who really need a GoFundMe because they're going through cancer treatments or something, you know? Exactly. And it's like, no, where are the benefits that I'm getting back? And you offered those right off the bat, which is so cool. Yeah.
Which I think like there's still room for like Kickstarter. I think is cool because you do give them back too.
Correct. I agree.
But it is very difficult.
Right. And they take a big percentage of it too.
Yeah.
So it's like,
and that project is just massive and really hard to like manage. And it's like, I think it's another job that you would end up like having to do. So this was really fun. And, we were able to like get a good amount of people on there.
How did you keep track of who had it, who got their rewards already? Like this sounds like...
So we never got to fully like enacted, I would say, because the idea was that it would start once we opened the brick and mortar.
I guess it makes sense. A lot of them didn't come in to get their birthday drink. Yeah.
Yes, but at the same time, we did track it. I had already built the spreadsheet. I mean, we thought we were going to open when we had that final inspection, so everything was already built out. So I had a spreadsheet that would live on our iPad with everyone's name and like all the months, and then you just clicked it and then checked off like when people came for their birthday thing and stuff.
Okay,
and
cool.
we got like every time someone signed up, they would get a form that they had to fill out with their birthday, their t-shirt size, because we also give them t-shirts.
That's cool.
So like everything was tracked online from
You built
them.
that whole system yourself? Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, Google Forms, man. Like there's so many tools out there that are like free and easy to use, and that I do owe that to that like consulting job that I did. It taught me a lot about systems and marketing too. That was like the two biggest, because we would support startups. So it was a dream job in that sense. I'm like, I'm learning.
I know the sense is no, but
yeah.
But I think that's cool. Like that's something I try to tell everybody. No matter what your job is you're doing, give it your all. You're gonna learn something from it.
Yeah.
Whether it's not your end goal, doesn't matter.
Right.
Go do it. If your job is to clean bathrooms, clean it to the best of your ability.
Yes.
You will learn something from
Yep.
it. There's something to be said about people like that and go into that place that you're sitting in a cubicle, you don't like it, and there's no people around you, but you're still going to kick butt at the job.
Yep.
Now look where it helped you build this thing on this platform that you need, that you could eventually, or you do sell as like a consulting package to people, you know, and now you're like, hey, I learned this. How do I push this off to other people and get my due return, you know?
Yes. I mean, it's all about being creative and resourceful, I think. And I think we all have that in us. You know,
Agreed.
It's just a muscle that we have to exercise often. And it's hard because, you know, trust me, I'm launching the recipes today and everything is ready, like all the systems behind it. And then yesterday I went home after working and I was like a ball of anxiousness.
Yeah,
like I was telling Ryan, I'm like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Everything is ready. And it's just because you get vulnerable about it, you know? And it's like you are really creating
Which means
projects.
You care so much. That's something like, I took a public speaking class in college because you had to. When I chose a topic that I didn't care about, I was much better at presenting it because it was it was systematic, you know? It was like, here's your point, this, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
When it was something I was passionate about, I started through those words because I wanted it to come off as good because I cared about it.
Exactly.
And I'm not naturally a good public speaker. So I would fumble my words all the time. So then I had to literally switch to like nothing I was passionate about to try to pass the class, you know?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, doing hard things is so good for your mind. And I think there's been studies on that, like the neurologist or whatever, like they're constantly talking about take a different route home, do something different every day. And it's so just good for your mind, but also your creativity. And public speaking is really hard.
It's very difficult.
But I feel like everyone should do it. Everyone, just like everyone should do an industry job once in their life.
I agree. I think that's one of those things that started as a hot take at once. And now it's like almost every single adult, because we've almost all worked it. It's just the natural thing. Like everybody should work in the industry. Just so you know how to at least treat people when you go out to eat one day. 100%.
You know, I had like my boss at that consulting job. We would go and like interview people and stuff. And he taught me this because he's like, every time I interview someone, I'd go to a public place and for coffee. And I'd always pay attention how they order and how they treated the server. And that's like a big insight into how they treat others, right? Especially if they're above them in a way, you know, like if you're leading a team, how are you going to treat those people, you know? And I think there's something to say about, you know, someone saying nothing's beneath them. Because it shouldn't be. We're all just humans trying to figure this out, honestly.
Absolutely, 100%. We're all rowing the same boat. And
Exactly.
we just put it in the right direction.
Exactly.
Like, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. So, okay, cool. So, you've got all that ready. It's launching. I mean, today, by the time this releases, it'll be out. Hopefully, you have 1 million of them sold. And what's next then?
So I think it's taken me some time to also figure out what that looks like, my next steps, you know, from like the recipes I want to continue doing. I want to do a bunch of like free ones too. Everything that like I didn't get to do at Una Más because I had idea of specials. Like I want to do a Colombian hot dog, which Colombian hot dogs are notoriously for being just wild. Like they have chips on top and all these sauces and all these things. So like
you have to do it then.
I know. So like I want to be able to.
Hot dogs are kind of hot right now too. I feel like I've seen them everywhere.
I didn't realize that was a thing.
It's like even if like baseball. I'm a big baseball fan.
Yeah.
So, and I can't eat hot dogs right now because of the bun and everything. But it's a big thing. There's like, it's literally a guy who goes to all the ballparks and ranks their hot dogs. There's like some that have like $40 hot dogs, you know?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's insane.
Okay, yeah. So I want to be able to like share all those like fun Colombian recipes that I didn't get to. And not everything's going to be paid. I want to do a bunch of free ones because like that's kind of the point. Is like, you know, Una Más allowed me to share a part of me that I didn't even know anyone would be interested in, to be honest. Just because like it's just so personal. Not in a way of like self-deprecating, but it's like you don't know what people are interested that you are interested in, right? And so like Una Más just opened my eyes. And obviously there's a big Colombian.
That's what made it authentic too. Yeah. It's people know, most people know when you're faking something or when you're trying to sell something in a sense. When it's just you are the sales point. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And you could, and I said to Esteban, I was a customer, Jordan, she's the greatest. She goes, literally, Esteban could go outside, take the dirt from outside, make a pour over, and convince me that it's good. You know what I mean?
Yes, you just will believe everything.
Right, because he's everything, because he doesn't lie. He doesn't BS it. You know what I mean? And if there is something that's good, it's never going to reach our menu because he's not going to allow it to, you know?
Exactly, yeah.
So it's just like there's certain people that just have that. And then the customers, they trust you, you know, and you're definitely one of those people.
Well, I've been fortunate with, you know, our people, like their feedback and everything's been really cool. I just love building this with more people. Like it's like entrepreneurship, I think it's lonely. And so when you get to bounce off people and like, you know, I think you and I really connected when we were talking about the build out stuff.
Yes.
I remember that. Like,
that was honestly, that was the bonding moment.
Exactly. Because I was like telling you all our issues and you're like, oh yeah, I've been through that too and even worse. And like, I think we were both like.
Going at the same time too when I was building out the roastery.
With autonomy,
Because we're like, oh yeah, this should be a patch and paint, 3 months, 4 tops, 13 months, you know?
Yeah. So we were like, just like both like, this sucks together. So it's just
we weren't even, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but we weren't even in the full clear that we didn't realize. We had everything. We got to see it. We had it all. And of course, we built the little test cafe site out. Yeah. And then we opened it as, you know, an actual cafe and stuff. And of course, the county right away was just like, hey, we're coming to inspect this. You know what I mean?
Did they really?
Where are your plans? Where are your, you know what I mean?
Oh, dang, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so they actually came this past yesterday. Oh my gosh, it was yesterday. God. Yeah. Thankfully, we passed everything.
Okay, I was going to say, wait.
No, we did. We knew because we had everything built to code no matter what.
Okay.
But it was never touched in the meantime. But we did everything. We even put a grease trap in underground. We did it to code.
You were ready.
We were ready. The only thing she hit us with was something like, which I've never heard this ever. And you know, I've changed my roaster spot 3 times now. My brother's had roasteries and stuff too. She's making us put a hand washing sink out by the roasters.
Whoa, that's weird.
Because it's technically finished food product.
I guess. There's
so
always
you can't go to touching the burlap sack to touching without washing your hands. Yeah.
Wow.
So and luckily, again.
Are you able to do that easily there?
Yes. So we had to. At first, we were like, "Oh my gosh, this is gonna be a nightmare." So we were able to condense it to have one uniform one for all of them, and we're able to put it off for like we have water fountains over there, so we're just remove the water fountains and put it over there.
Oh, okay.
So it's not right next to the roasters, but it's out in that
general area.
In that general area, yeah.
Okay.
So luckily, we got a very nice. Again, it's who you get. Sometimes it's very much.
Yeah, you and I have had the same inspector, and she was not easy.
She was not easy on either one of us at all. And this other one, luckily, she's the same one that I had at Northdale the past like 4 years. Actually.
Oh, that's awesome.
So there was a little familiarity. There was a little like, you know, she just don't bother her when she's working.
Yeah.
Be responsive to her criticisms, you know, and ask how I can fix it. And I've learned that through those, and she passed it. And you know what I mean? Yeah, it was just, and there's always the little things like, you know, she told Tom, she's like, you have to get your food handler's permit. You have to have more than one person here with it. You know, like, I don't know, which I always thought it was just one. I always thought it was one. So
interesting. I guess you have to have one manager on at all times.
That might be it then, yeah. And if it's because I think Drew, but then we only put one person on it. He was working the bar that day. So it was like he had to have it. Yeah.
Oh.
I know.
Oh, that's not fun.
So he's like, I have to take this stupid class.
It is not fun.
It is so boring. It's honestly very easy though.
Yeah,
it's kind of common sense.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, until they ask you specific temperatures for chicken, that will never apply to you. But you know.
That's the one I got hung up on a fish one at one point. I'm like, I'm a cafe. I don't have fish. Why do you wait? Does it go on the bottom shelf, top? Which one does it go on? I don't remember. Put my eggs are on the middle. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, it is easy. It's just you have to remember all those little things and memorize them because they will get you on it, unfortunately. But I mean, it's all a game you have to play, and I'm sure it's there for real reasons. And we just sometimes it feels like they're not real because we're like trying to do everything right, but you know, there's always someone out there that's not necessarily doing it right.
That's the problem. But I feel like they don't ever catch those people. They just put new barriers in place to prevent us from doing that thing they're doing.
It's getting hard in Tampa to start a brick and mortar business that's food related. There's just not a lot of places that are second generation, and you have to have a lot of money to change that around, it feels like. So it's a bummer. It's a bummer because I feel like, you know, small businesses are the lifeline of cities, and I've gotten so much from them over the years that it's a bummer to see just like, you know, people with just big money come in and take over, and nothing against them necessarily, but like, I think we should be able to cohabit and like.
Right. And I'm not asking for handouts. I'm not asking for somebody to fund it. Show me the outline. Let me do it. Don't come up with the crazy rules afterwards, or the per my discretion, you know, like, because then it's just, I don't know, I don't want to call them conspiracy theories in your head start wondering like, well, how did that place get open so fast, but you're telling me this, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, you just get very like, so what's happening if this whole block is now being hit by the same inspector for something, you know what I mean? Like, does the city want this block? Does an investor want this block? Like, what is going on here?
All right, because, you know, anyone can call on you and try to say that you did something wrong, and then you have an inspector show up. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. But I know. You know, it's just hard. It's hard for people that are trying to do it right, and I feel like keep getting roadblocks.
Because we're not trying to pull one over on anybody. Small businesses in general are from small people who want to better their community and do the thing they love. That's it. And we've made it so hard. Like, it was even that same strip when we were in the Lutz Plaza. There was one chain. The rest were all local, which you could tell the landlord did not want local. Like, they were very adamant. Even talked to the inspectors in Pasco. They're like, we like chains because they're easy. Yeah. They already have their blueprints. They already have everything to go. They're in and out. The Capriati's sandwich opened in months.
That's wild.
Everybody else took a year to 2 years to open their spots because Pasco was very hard on us. Yeah. And our landlord just didn't help through the process either. He was like, well, you owe me rent. Pay the rent. I'm like, nothing you can do here? Yeah. Help me out. You know what I mean? Like, tough. We even got into the point where same thing. We had to go and do another revision of our engineering plans, had to pay another engineer more because of certain things, you know? And that were in the original plans, but not in the original, you know what I mean? But it's just like, we didn't know, but it's like, landlord, like, why are you making us do this too? This was the landlord at this point making us do it. So he was just like, no, we need engineering plans to prove what you're doing. I was just like, why?
That's wild. Yeah.
Everything was already approved. Yeah. So it was like weird stuff like that where they had that like stuff in the lease where it was, they needed approval on every little thing. And you're just kind of like, and it had to be architecture and engineering plans.
That sounds sketch.
Yeah. So it was very like,
sketch. I'm sorry.
I'm like, I understand if you want me to not open a strip club at night, you know what I mean?
Right.
And you put that in the lease saying, hey, this fireman's pole, what is this really for? You know? But to go into every little detail of where the outlets are and you know what I mean, what's it going to be used for when the county doesn't care?
Right. That
was a little stretch for me. I should have been a major red flag, honestly.
Yeah. We live and learn, unfortunately, but that's very unfortunate. Yeah. I mean, I could think about the future here, like for myself personally, and I just had to take a step back from everything because I couldn't I part of me wanted to go find another place and continue it, you know. It is my passion after all, but I just, you know, it took us so long to even find that spot. And I just we pour money and time into it. I'm like, I need to just chill and recover from all aspects of life and then see what's next. And that's where the recipes came about. And I've always loved teaching people too, like, I think as an eldest daughter, that was part of it. And so I've been able to also, help other companies start their coffee programs, which has been really fun to me.
So rewarding to that's what I love about our community. You'll never see, just a paper company saying, I helped another paper company get off the ground. You know what I mean? And but coffee is very much like that. It's like, the amount of people I've had work underneath me or underneath Esteban at Elevation, that have gone on to start their own roasting business or a cafe or a pop-up, whatever it is. It's like, I love that.
It's
amazing.
My
gosh. Like, that's one of my big things, even in business. Like, I don't want to see somebody worse off, ever. I genuinely love people. Every person that comes to my door that works for me, I genuinely love that person. I will give you the shirt off my back. I will help you out however I want, or however they need that I can match, I want to do that. And if that means I would say this, don't leave Elevation, go to something.
Exactly.
That's my thing. Like, so if you found something to go to that's better, I will never stop you.
Well, I think we're lucky because people poured into us. I feel like most people that started in coffee here in Tampa had someone really
that's so
pour
true.
into them and teach them, and that passion, like kind of was just talking about Josh Bonanno, like that is contagious. And so like you kind of just pass it on to the next person as well. Like, and because we know how hard it is also.
Yep, 100%.
And how like little margins and big overhead and like why do we do this sometimes type of questions that we all have. But like that's not enough to stop us, And so I think that's where that's so rewarding, And right now I just finished helping Sétima set up their coffee program, and that was like a full circle moment for me because my very first pop-up with cold brew was with them.
That's so cool.
And so like this goes years back to like them believing in me. And like I did pop-ups in Jug and Bottle too, which like they came out of Jug and Bottle as well. Right, yep. And so like and now they're getting ready to launch their program soon, and like
exciting.
That was the Una Más house until the very end, like we popped in different places, but we were there.
Shout out to them too, because they even helped us when we had to leave our downtown location. Like, pop up here while you're figuring out the next step,
Exactly.
And great people. I just think I want to see them absolutely kill it in that area.
And I think they will. They like just hired someone that I think is going to be great for their program as well. And I believe in businesses like that. Like I feel like they do such a good job of being involved in the community, of like sharing their space. I think they're like really exemplified what collaboration is, and they're not even in coffee yet. But like cool. I felt it with you. Like I popped up at your spot too when I started my business. And it was so much fun. And like,
there's no conflict of interest here.
Exactly.
We actually have the same interests.
Exactly.
It's just what you were doing was something we didn't do, and you did it exceptionally well. Why not?
Right.
Like, bring it on.
It was so much fun. Like I know that like last year was so hard for me personally, career-wise, everything. But at the same time, I've never felt so like held in love by so many people, like you're a huge part of that. There were so many people that reached out and stuff. And, it was really hard. But like, I truly believe that, the right people are always going to be
100%
kind to you. You know what I mean? And that's like all we should strive for, is like, don't kick anyone when they're down.
Yeah, please don't. Oh my gosh.
Like, just like, and I felt that firsthand, I feel like I try to be a kind person, but and I try to go out of my way for other people. But when I was really hurting, I almost didn't expect for people to do the same thing for me, and everyone proved me wrong.
I'm the same as you actually in those. Like I always think like I'm gonna give everybody my best, and then I'm always like, nobody's gonna get back to me when I get it, and then the flood comes in, and you're just overwhelmed with the love and joy of people, and then at the end of it all, that's what it's all about. Whether you failed, I don't even like to call it failure. Whether you pivoted or succeeded in that original goal, the same people are going to love you no matter what.
Exactly.
And that's what's so cool about it. It's a very unconditional form of love it's hard to find in this world nowadays.
Yeah, for sure.
But in the coffee industry, we're blessed to have it with the people and with the customers that will like bend over backwards for you. I've always said that like our biggest advocates are our customers. Like we can preach to the end of the world that we got the best coffee or we got the best this and that. It's not until an actual regular goes and tells their person, this is where you got to go, that it actually matters.
Yeah. And there's just so many pockets of different interests that can intersect. Like, I am not a wrestling fan.
Yeah,
I'm just going to talk about this because my husband is. And I just remember back to the King State days. And then we'd get some wrestlers come through that are now your partner. Yeah. And I had no idea, but like my husband recognized him, and it's cool to see that full circle. And like we came to your pop-up with Ammo. Yeah. Which because I don't know anything about the wrestling world, I did not expect that. Like when I opened the door, I'm like, Oh my God. It was so many people. And I think that's what's
nuts.
So cool is like coffee can intersect with so many different walks of life and like having a space, whether it's physical and now I have to say digital because like that's kind of where I'm heading now. There's room for everyone. You know what I mean? And like, it was really cool to see that. I saw someone bring in their kid and surprise them to meet the wrestlers.
Oh yeah. That was the most rewarding part of it.
Cute. And I didn't know what I was doing in there and I couldn't tell you like anything about wrestling, but it was so heartwarming to see that.
I'm in the same boat. It would have been like one of those things like, hey, do you want to do a quick interview? I'm like, you're just going to be coffee only right now? Or we're only going to talk about coffee because no offense, I don't know what championships you've won or any of that. You know, like I met them in coffee, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And same thing with, you know, Tom, my partner in Autonomy. Like I met him because he was a regular. I had no idea. It was a joke because even in our podcast video, it was just like, by the time I finally, it was like 20 times of him coming in and he was like talking about getting thrown through a wall and somebody's getting thrown into a car. I thought he was a stunt man. He was like, no, I'm a wrestler. Like,
so funny.
Like I was like dumb for not knowing, you know what I mean? I'm like, Dad, I'm so sorry. Like, I don't know.
Well, it's probably how people feel about us sometimes when we talk about coffee and they're like, what? Like, it's just a drink, dude. You know what I mean?
We're like, it's not just a drink.
Exactly. And we're like all passionate, like, no, there's so much that goes behind it. But that's like what is so fun is like, if you like are open to learning, you can do so much in this world. And
in all those things, if you're fanatics. I was, name drop here, talking with John Cena just the other day and about that because he came through in that event.
That's awesome.
And it was even so overwhelming for him.
I'm sure.
You know, and he was just kind of like, got up to the front. We were just chatting. He's just like, you know what? I actually don't think we're going to have time to get coffee right now. And I was talking with his wife afterwards. She goes, those things can kind of escalate sometimes when he shows up because it's like, honestly, it's like to some people when they see him, it is like, I don't know whoever the most famous person is to you. It's like seeing that person, but probably even more for some reason. That's how the wrestling community is.
They're very devoted fans. Like I like I said, my husband sometimes will be watching something on there, and I'm like, how many people are there? Yeah. Like the spaces they do these shows, I don't know what to call it. They're humongous. Like they fit so many people in there, and I'm like,
and they're loud the whole time.
Yeah. So
so it was, and that's what he was. He was just like, he goes, in certain situations, we know when to leave. He goes, because he even get his coffee. Yeah. And so
that's a bummer.
Yeah. So he just left, you know. But they were just like, it's just the way it is. And he goes, and that's why we like coming here every day because nobody really bothers us here. Your staff don't bother us. You talk to us when we're ready to be talked to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's key in those things. Like you just treat people like they're your regulars too.
Yeah.
And same with the other two from Amo, Colby and Rebecca.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Like he just loves coffee.
Yeah.
She loves coffee.
That's
you know
so
what I mean?
cool.
And that's what that whole time they're like, we want this about the coffee. When they showed up, he was even like, he was like, where's the coffee? Like, let's go over there. Let's talk.
Yeah.
What are we going to do? I did not expect this many people, you know? And same with us. We had no idea. Like, this wasn't an event. It was a pop-up coffee takeover, which we've done those things. But coffee fans will even show up to those things. Even before that, we had people that were just like, oh, I'm not here to see them. I'm here to get the coffee, you know?
Yeah.
So it was a mixture of it all. Yeah, that was you. Yeah. And I was excited to try the coffees myself.
Dude, that watermelon thing was wild.
It was
the watermelon
so good.
Co-ferment, I was like, oh my God, I can taste the watermelon.
Yeah, it's delicious.
It's insane. I mean, I know that's what co-ferments are, but it still shocks me sometimes when I try some of those co-ferments.
Yeah,
I'm like,
oh my gosh, it tastes like what they said it was.
100%. And so it was really fun to go there. I think my daughter was like, why are there so many people here?
A lot of people were like, why are there so many people here? Yeah. And we had a cupping going on at the same time. And
it was great.
I agree. The whole thing, I'm not glad my cortisol levels, it took like 4 or 5 days for them to come down from it. Because it was one of the few times my staff was like, you look stressed, you know? And I was just like, I was, because I was hoping it was like, there was one particular family, I wanted them to meet the people, and the rest, I thought it was going to be definitely coffee forward, you know?
Yeah.
And it was, we sold out of the coffee, you know?
I know,
but it was
when
definitely,
we got there was no coffee. I'm like, dang it.
I know.
But no, understand. I'm glad.
And then it turned into, all right, we're going to sit them at a table, because this is the best thing for it right now, you know? Because the people demanded it. You know what I mean?
I was going to say, so that wasn't planned for them to like just sit and sign?
It was, they were going to come hang out by the coffee. It was kind of like, that was a difference. When I met them at the SEA Expo, they were launching their coffee brand at that. It was all wrestling fans didn't pay $200 for the day to come get coffee and then to go meet them. It was coffee people.
Gotcha.
Where they're still a crossover people that were getting their boxes autographed there that were in the coffee industry. Yes, there were. But it wasn't. I was able to kind of walk up. Oh, hey, Colby, I'm Jonathan. I know who you are, your elevation. Like, oh, my buddy Tom, you told me, He's like, yeah, meet my wife. It was very, and I think that's how we thought this was going to be too.
Well, even my husband was like, I didn't expect to be this many people. I thought it was just like a coffee thing is what he said. But I'm like, well, they did announce it on their social media. So I knew it was going to be, I mean, I'd assumed it was busy. But when I opened the doors and saw the line like go around like 3 times, I'm like, wrestling is way bigger than I thought.
Yeah, and that was for me. That was my go-to, and it was. We didn't know they were going to post about it because this wasn't a planned big event. You know what I mean? Even John Cena showing up was not planned. You know, it was one of those like you drop it to him while he's at the. Hey man, if you want to come by. Colby and Rebecca are going to be there. Oh, hey, I might swing by and get some coffee. You know what I mean? Like, literally just want to get a cup of coffee.
Everyone just thought it was a chill coffee thing.
Correct, yes. And it ended up not being.
That's so funny.
But it was honestly such a great experience. They're actually doing their other pop-up in LA today now.
I think I saw that, yeah.
I was like, oh, I'll be prepared, But it was, nobody expected that. But it was my best friend, since we were like 14. He's a wrestling fan. Okay. And once they announced it, he literally texted me. He goes, yo, you know that they announced it? And I was like, oh no.
Oh no, something's coming.
Like, what do I need to prepare for? He goes, you need to staff more people. Period, in discussion, Yeah. I was like, no. I was literally like, no. Like, really? Just because they announced it? Like, he goes, you don't know wrestling fans like I do. Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was a lesson for sure for me too. Even though I wasn't working it, I was just like, oh, this is way bigger than I imagined.
Oh yeah, for sure. So, oh man, so cool. So you got all your stuff coming out. The recipes, by the time this is launched, they're out. Where can people find those? This isn't the podcast yet. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Yeah, well, I finally was able to finish my website since we talked last.
Hallelujah.
So it's the cafeconpao.com. So if they go straight there, they'll be able to like find the recipes there.
We'll link that everywhere.
And then on Instagram too, it's the same link is going to be on there if that's easier.
Café con Pao.
Or Una Más's Instagram too, Una Más TPA. So yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah. And then, so I wanted to bring this subject up because it was on your stories the other day about the pet peeves.
Oh boy, yeah.
in coffee, because I know you said, I'll post these anonymously. I don't even care if my name was on them at this point. I've been at this point where I'm not a complainer in life. I am very much a tell me what you're for more than what you're against type of person. And I think we've been very clear on what we're for in coffee right now. We are for the community of it. We are for the producers getting acknowledgement. We are for the chain of command to be accessible and known by people. But what are we against in coffee right now? Or the coffee hot takes, as you would call them.
I mean, I posted the anonymously part because I feel like people open up more if 100%. They know their names is not going to be shown on there. Because I also don't have a problem talking about this. And but yeah, I got some interesting ones. And I think it all boils down at the end of the day is about intentionality, right? So like we had people say that they asked for a to-go cup or if they had for here cups and then they would get served in to-go cups, which I think is a huge thing. Like, I think coffee has moved so much into the fast-paced world here in the States, which yes, is necessary. And we like taking coffee to go. I'm definitely a slow sipper. So if I can't like sit down at a coffee shop for like an hour, then I'll take it to go. So I'm not like against to go coffee.
Right. I'm not against it either.
Right. No, but like I do think there's like, don't waste coffee cups, first of all. Like I think this industry in general, like all the hospitality industry is very wasteful.
Yes.
So like if someone asks for here, give them for here cups. Yes. Like I fully agree.
I'm asking for here because I want the time to sit down. I'd like to drink it out of porcelain.
Yes.
Not paper.
I agree.
It's I don't know. It shows the extra point of intentionality to do that. And it also like, I don't want, if I order a cappuccino, I kind of want to see the latte art too. I don't want you to throw my lid on it right away where I never got to see it.
Right.
Like I like to see a barista who has skill and can show off a little bit. I enjoy that. Does it technically make it better if you poured it in, latte art or not? If the milk texture is right? No, it doesn't technically make it better. But we drink with our eyes first. We eat with our eyes first.
Yeah, 100%.
And seeing that right away, the perception is this is going to be good.
Yeah, 100%. And to that point too, I think the thing that I got the most was the syrups.
Oh, okay.
So anyone, like a lot of people said that if they saw Monin.
Oh, Monin or Tirani?
Yeah, on the shelves, they know it's already going to be a bad thing. And I mean, I think that kind of sucks to like people that don't know that that's a thing, you know, like, and not all of us have the benefit of starting a coffee shop after working in coffee shops for years, right? So I think there are people that are trying their best and just like, you know, they get sold on a syrup and then they'll try it. I don't think that always means it's bad, but most often than not, yes. It means that it's not the greatest quality. And I got a lot of people that said that. They're like, I'm running.
I believe it. That's the one I hear the most, actually, just in general. Like, especially if it's a first-time customer coming around, they're like, they're looking around. I'm like, really? I'm just looking to see what kind of syrups you have, you know?
And like, I do that too, 100%. If I see 20 syrups on the table.
Right. And that'll be the first thing. I'm like, oh, they're all house-made. Done. Okay, I know I'm in the right place, is what they say.
Exactly.
And that goes back to one of my other pet peeves. And this, I'm probably going to get blasted from people on this because coffee is fully culinary. I believe that it is an instrument that can be used across the board in coffee. People put it in spice rubs for barbecue, for grilling, all those things. It's used with milk, with sugar, all those things too. But influencers or people who rate and review coffee, because the drink wasn't sweet enough, you're not rating coffee anymore. You are rating sugar levels, not coffee.
100%.
Huge. The fact that we've given people a platform to rate those things is just diabolical to me.
Well, and it hurts businesses.
Yes.
It hurts because like Google reviews, Yelp reviews, all that stuff, like people look to them to decide whether they're going to support a small business. And unfortunately, that never tells the full story of a business, right?
At all.
And especially for coffee, that's a preference
you and I can read that
thing,
review and
right?
understand that it doesn't actually mean something. But the general population is still going to look at that and be like, oh, they don't make things sweet enough there, you know, or whatever it is.
Well, and also, like, sweetness is a preference thing.
Correct.
It's not a right or wrong thing. And not only that, you could also ask for more.
Right. That's what we always say.
It's like,
that's our thing.
when
the Starbucks person comes in and they say, hey, I like this. We're like, hey, this is how we make it. We do less sugar. Let us know if you want us to add more afterwards, you know, always.
It's an easy fix. Like, the trigger-happy commenters and reviewers, like, I don't. It also drives me nuts, honestly, and I don't think it's fair to the businesses. And those are probably people that have never worked in the industry.
100% have never worked in the industry. Yeah, no.
But I agree with that. I had people also say, and this is a big pet peeve of mine, when you ask for drip and they give you Americano without telling you.
Oh, yes.
It's happened to my husband many times, and I don't think that's necessarily like a bad thing, but if you don't tell people, then it is a bad thing. Like if you're out of drip, that's fine. Like I know that like you can't just have batch drip like, you know, all day. Like you run out. And so like what's the option?
We try our best to, but
exactly.
You're trying to limit waste too.
Exactly. So, but like just tell people. Tell people because they may be okay with it, they may not be, but just like give them a heads up. And the same thing, like I had someone say that they order cold brew black and they get sometimes iced lattes. And I did have something similar once where I asked for a latte, actually. I was traveling, so I wasn't in Tampa, and I asked for an iced latte for Ryan. I was ordering for the both of us, and that's what he used to drink if it wasn't a cold brew. And they made it with cold brew and milk.
Ooh.
And it was not good because it was like so watery. So I think that just to me goes back to the intentionality. Like just let people know, like there are standards. You're calling yourself a specialty coffee shop, like either read up on it, make sure that your menu is appropriate for that, or just write it down. Oh, I had one that was really bad.
Oh, let's go.
This person works in coffee too, but she ordered a signature drink and she had an awful allergic reaction because they didn't disclose the ingredients in the syrup.
Gotcha, yeah.
And it was bad. And you could lose your entire business on this, and that person could lose their life.
Wow.
And thankfully that didn't happen and she got help and stuff. But I'm like, disclose your ingredients because I mean it happened to me. Like that's what started the whole post is like I order something and it came with cold foam. And I'm like, I didn't want cold foam. I'm not against cold foam. I've made it myself, but like it was hot. I was outside. I wanted to try their signature drinks, and all of them except one said it had cold foam. And that's the one I got. And then it got like this amount of cold foam. And I just was like, just tell people what your food or your drinks are and what's in them, because I think there's a little bit of fear of disclosing your secret ingredients, maybe. But at the end of the day,
to me. Like, I'll give anybody our recipes. Like,
right. And also, even if they knew exactly how you make it, everyone's going to make it different, because it's all about ratios and what you put in them and what kind of ingredients. Correct. Like, even the brand could change the taste of it. So that was like, I'm like, yeah, people, that's dangerous game to play. What else did I get? I got cappuccinos. Yeah, someone said if they order a cappuccino and they get asked if they want small or large.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I've definitely walked into places and I look at the menu. I'm like, cappuccino, cool. Oh, I have a 20-ounce cappuccino.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are we doing here?
And someone also said they'll get like sometimes lattes that taste more like milk than anything else. So most of them are around like the final product. There wasn't a ton of like sort of customer service stuff. It was more like, this is the final product that I get. Although I did one post, this was a while ago, that was pretty polarizing and I didn't expect it to be. And I was just like, it came from personal experience, because I was sitting at a coffee shop and I got in there maybe 15 minutes before close and I got it to go. But I sat down when I got it and I'm like, I got a few minutes. And they were stacking chairs right next to me. And I'm like,
that's
you
ridiculous.
Haven't closed yet.
Yeah.
And
huge pet peeve.
That's something for me that like, you know, when I was running the business too, like I told my staff, I'm like, we accept food and beverages up until the last minute, because those are our posted hours.
Yep.
And you can pre-close stuff, but don't make anyone feel like they have to get out.
Correct.
Like you can start.
We will even serve people, because we don't start cleaning everything until like after close. Sometimes people walk in 10 minutes late and we'll be like, I still have one group head open. I got you. You know what I mean? Like, like it also, that person now, that experience to them is even bigger. You know what I mean? They're like, oh my gosh, like that's a mom who just picked her kid up from school, had a rough day, just wanted a coffee. You know what I mean? And you could read the people sometimes. Sometimes somebody comes in and then you're just kind of like, you could tell, you know, and then you're just like, hey, I do have cold brew on tap. I can get you real quick if you like, you know. And they're like, oh no, I'll come back tomorrow, you know. Like,
exactly.
There's a way to handle those things.
100%. But, you know, I've been, and people there were like, the baristas were like, you're crazy. I'm like, I don't think they were local. I think somehow I got to like other places. Like, I don't know if I had a tag or something, but like, they're like, yeah, you've never worked in this industry for long enough. You're just an owner. I'm like, definitely have worked in this industry. So, and yes, we all want to get out, but like, that also shows like, you don't really care about your job. Like, you're not passionate, I guess I should say.
Right. And that's the other thing. Like, I would say one of my pet peeves is, I think I told this one to you. I think you posted it. It was, the not being greeted. Like I don't need it for validation. Right. I know that I'm going to get better customer service. My experience is already good. Yeah. If I'm greeted. Yeah. If I'm the only one that walks in, greeting should definitely happen. Even if I'm at the back line, I get not. But every once in a while, I've gone to places where it's still like, you walk in, they hear the door open, they're just, little head nod. Yeah. Just acknowledgement. My existence was acknowledged. Yeah. I know this. I'm already like, okay, I'm going to wait in this line, because
the difference between feeling like you're annoying them almost, you know. And someone told me a story recently that this was in a different state too, but they walked into a coffee shop that was like, there was a lot of people talking about this, like it had like a weird, really cool like design to it. And they walked in, there was no one there except the barista who was sitting at the couch. And when the person walked in, they're like, ugh. And then they got up and served them. He's like, I'm good.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I will turn around.
And I'm like, dude, that's wild to me. And, you know, it could be a trickle down from like management not caring.
What do they even do with their life though? To just want to sit on a couch? Like, do they not realize like, and again, we can go on a rant about tip culture and stuff in general, but we still rely on tips in this industry. I'm sorry. They should not just be given for no reason. Like we've even had people where we're like, certain thing happened or they wait a long time. We click the no tip part and like, no, let me. You know what I mean? And you're just kind of like, no, that's not how this works. Like you waited too long. You're not doing that, you know? Yeah. And then there's the people like that where you're just kind of like, I don't care how good of a beverage you can make. I'm already done. I'm already out. So that's my big thing where I'm kind of like, the greeting tells me that you are going to care no matter what.
Yeah.
Now, you can still get up to the line and the greeting is going to come later or whatever it is. You know, those type of things still do happen. But I've been to places locally and not locally, most of them are not here anymore, where they are super talented baristas, but they could not care less about customer service. And I will not come back.
Yeah, I mean, you remember an experience more than a drink, to be honest. As much as, like, we want to say that coffee's a craft and it's, like, so much behind it, and it's true, but that's not enough to, like, keep a person coming back always.
No,
you know
it's
what I
not.
mean? Like, because, again, if we're trying to uphold the value of coffee, that's part of it, your experience. Because how are you going to sell an expensive cup of coffee to someone who hates being in your establishment, too?
Correct.
So it's like they're kind of directly related to each other, and so we do a disservice to coffee if we care that much about coffee.
Yes.
If we also don't serve the people that are coming to buy our coffee.
Correct. And I don't care how great you are at your job if you can't treat a human being like.
Exactly.
And again, I'm not asking for song and dance or anything crazy. It's like the acknowledgement, but it's also like, I guess we are littered with talent here in Tampa for coffee people that are also good people. Yeah. Like almost every shop I can go to, and I'm gonna have both in that experience. Yes. And so it is hard when I go somewhere else and it's not like that, you know. Yeah. It was just like, for me, it was always like LA was the one where I was just kind of like, really? Yeah. Come on. I thought LA was nice. LA was chill, like not full-on barista attitude from 2016. You know what I mean? And then I finally found one, Stereoscope. Shout out to them. Nice. And they were full-on, just the like excited to talk about the coffee. Greeted you at the door. You know what I mean? It was just that whole like, and I was like, I want to go back here now. Yeah. Was it the single best cup of coffee I had there? It was not. Is it the place I'll go back twice though? 100%.
That happened to me. Well, the opposite, I guess, of what you just said. In Portland, I was so excited to go to Portland for the coffee. And they're known for their coffee, right? And I had not great experiences almost the entire time. Yeah. And I'm like, you guys have such cool coffee shops and such great coffee, but I don't enjoy it. Yeah, that's awful. It was such a bummer. And hopefully, like, I don't know, that was the year of COVID, right before COVID, like, really, like, shut everything down. So like I think we were like, people were already stressed, and I hope that's like the reason. And I mean, I've heard from other people that's the same experience that you had up there in Seattle's kind of the same too. That's what I've heard too, which is such a bummer. Yeah, it's sad. Again, we're fortunate to have the Tampa culture that we have. For sure. And we have a community that backs each other big time, which is unheard of. Yeah. And around the, like, in coffee in general, it's there, but man, I'm telling you, Tampa, Orlando, St. Pete. Shout out to our community. There's none like it. Yeah, for sure. So, for awesome. Sure. Where can everybody find you? I know we talked about it earlier, but let's throw it out there again. Yeah. Cafeconpao.com is where you can find everything. I have the recipes there. We're going to do some workshops hopefully soon as well. Yes. To like teach people how to start. July, right? Early to mid? Early. Yeah, I guess second weekend of something July, like that, yes. Teaching. This will be live before that, so. Yes, okay, cool. Teaching people how to start their own coffee business. That's amazing. And with carts. So, like, again, my whole philosophy of starting small while dreaming really big, so that we can break some barriers to entry here, because it's really hard to get this started, but it's doable. And I'm excited for that because you're going to be doing it at Autonomy, which we have the same method of, but on the roasting side. We want people to start the business, and we've seen the overlap of the people that have come there to either a cupping or something, and then I've seen them talking to you like, hey, so you're the coffee cart girl, right? Yes, I'm excited. It's such a, like, what you guys have built at Autonomy is so cool. I wish that was there when I started. I wish it was there when I started too. Exactly. Even though it's so like cool how we did get to start and kind of from the ground up, and you know, it's still like such an important hub for people wanting to get into coffee, and then it does break down those barriers, which I think is important, because coffee belongs to the people. 100%. And it shouldn't belong just to people with deep pockets. Honestly, I think it's a very humble product, you know, like I've been fortunate enough to be at coffee fields and see how hard it is, and I think that gap is getting smaller and smaller, hopefully, and that's how we can do it. You know, how you've hosted like coffee growers and all that stuff is amazing. So hoping to do that, but on the flip side, with the customer serving customer-facing side,
Yes.
and teaching people that dream about having a coffee shop how to start small and dream big.
I love it.
But that all will be announced on both cafeconpao.com, on my social media. That's cafe.con.pao. So just not separating it, and everything.
And on Una Más as well.
And yeah, everything recipe-wise will be at Una Más TPA on Instagram as well.
Perfect.
But yeah, that's where I'll be.
Awesome. You're a rock star. You're a
Thank
legend.
you so much.
So, pleasure.
Thank you.